All right. Before you set out on your reading of Book 7, I would suggest that you consider Books 7 and 8 to be a bit of a matched set. Although, I think in most people's opinion, Book 8 greatly exceeds Book 7 in terms of its power, in terms of its beauty, and really in terms of its interest. Knowing that that's what lies ahead of you, I would encourage you to read Book 7 and try to think, what is Homer doing here? In what ways are our expectations being fulfilled, and in what ways are our expectations being denied? So think before you start reading, what am I excited to learn about? And then keep track of how much of that is foreshadowed in Book 7, how much of that is given to you in Book 7, and how much of that is delayed in Book 7. We've talked a little bit about how Homer, when he builds suspense, he can't build that much suspense about what will happen, not in the big picture, but he can build suspense about how it happens. Well, I think Book 7 gives us a chance to test some of that, because I think we will enter Book 7 and Book 8 with some expectations about what should happen. And I would really encourage you to write out a list of what needs to happen now. What needs to happen after Odysseus has met Nausicaa. What needs to happen for him to make his way home. And if you almost just create a checklist, how much of that is checked off in Book 7, how much of that is left for Book 8, and then maybe some of that will even be delayed for you moving forward. So I think thinking about what your expectations are, what the narrative requirements are, will really help you appreciate the book. And then, at the end of the book, if you were told that the ancients really did love Book 7, what do you think they loved about it? What was the most striking part of Book 7? If you had to summarize Book 7, well, no, maybe not summarize. If you had to abridge Book 7, what would you focus on? What's the most important thing that happens, and what's the most memorable thing that happens? And is the most memorable part of Book 7 the same thing as the most important part of Book 7? So I'll let you enter the book with those questions in mind, and of course, hopefully feeling even more excited to get to Book 8.